Hey y'all, so it's me, Monica. You might notice a change of venue and scenery, and me looking a little raw. I'm sick, so I'm kind of camping out on the couch for the next few days or week. We'll see. Um, this isn't going to be my normal everyday video on how to fight indivisible or resistance. This is more a I don't know if this is it's not really a call to action. It's more of a shout out to my girl Tomi Lahren and what's going on with her, and kind of a call out to all the hypocrites out there, and maybe you'll see the light type of video. So, if you don't know who Tomi Lahren is, she's actually going to be the keynote speaker for the Spokane GOP Lincoln Day dinner, and she's going to be also a keynote speaker for a few other Lincoln Day dinners in Washington in June. But she's best known as uh, she's 24 years old, and she's the youngest conservative political commentator, something, yeah, commentator. And she has her own show on the Blaze Network, which is Glenn Beck's network, and she's been in the news the past few days, and they're not being so nice to her. And unfortunately, Republicans also aren't being so nice to her, and it's kind of hypocritical. And I thought we could have a little conversation. And please comment back. I'd love to hear your comments, and let's try to keep it civil. So she's 24, and of course, like I said, she's the youngest. I'm not sure if it's in history, but in definite recent history, she has over 4 million followers on Facebook, and at last check, about 20 minutes ago, she has 675,000 followers on Twitter. It was a lot more before, but because of this scandal, it's dropped. And what happened is she's very vocal on the Blaze. She's also known for her final thoughts videos. They're usually anywhere from like 2 to 5 minutes, and she's known as being very angry. I like to call it passionate because I can get the same way. I love what she has to say. You know, she says it like it is. She believes in faith, family, and gun rights. She's very much for the Second Amendment, and so she's great at calling out the left for what they are and what they do and being hypocrites. And so the View had her on Friday, and it was this big build up that she's going to be on the View and they're going to bring her down, and you know she was ready for the fight. And so when she first got on, it was cordial. We were hoping it would be Whoopi Goldberg was going to be the one there, but instead it was Joy Behar. I personally wish it would have been both of them. That would have been awesome, but it was Joy. Joy being Joy. And so, you know, they hit her with the hard questions, you know, like, you know, the wiretapping, which, you know, she said that she believed that there should be an investigation into it, which I agree. I think that there should be, but that's my opinion. And then they asked her about the about, you know, abortions and with Trump, and you know how could she be pro life, and with it it, it it was kind of, if you watch the interview, it was like they were setting her up. And instead, to everyone's surprise, Tomi goes, "Well, I'm a constitutionalist. I believe I'm not word for word, okay? But she goes, she goes, I'm a constitutionalist. I believe in limited government and the government staying out of my body. I'm pro-choice." Which shocked everybody, silenced everybody. Everybody was like, "What?" And she's like, "Keep out of my guns and out of my body." I thought it was a brilliant answer. I mean, one, she shut them all down. I mean, it was quiet. Everybody was like, "What?" And it makes sense, you know. I mean, if you listen to her words, it makes sense. You might not agree with it. You might be a diehard pro-lifer, and you might not agree with it, but if you listen to her answer, word for word, it makes sense. If she believes in limited government and the government not being in her life, it then makes sense for her to be like, the government should have no control or be making decisions for her body. Regardless of how you feel, that answer makes complete sense. It just does. I'm sorry, but it does. So you would think when all the backlash hit, Glenn Beck came out and called her a traitor and instantly put her show on a 1-week suspension. Now there's theory going around, oh, she's looking to go to a new place because her contract's soon up, and then the Blaze is saying no, her contract's up in a year and a half. Whatever. It doesn't matter. She should not have been put on suspension. She should have at least been allowed to do one show to at least address the issue instead of boom, no show, nothing to respond. So she had to put out her own video statement, which unfortunately I have not yet seen, but I've been able to see her Twitter posts, and she's getting hit from the left, from the right, from the middle. She's getting hit hard, and I know she's not going to see this video, but I want her to know I got her back. I support her 110%. She's 24 years old. She's allowed to evolve and make her own decisions and decide what she believes in and what she doesn't. She's a millennial, and they are changing the whole political spectrum. And I'm like right, without giving away my age, I'm right on the cusp of what is a millennial or the Oregon Trail generation or the No generation. And we have the same problem. Like, we are the age, our two generations together, or one generation, depending by one, really, there's like 5 different years that decide who's millennial and who's Oregon Trail. But if you put those two together, next to the baby boomers, we're actually a larger generation than the baby boomers. We're supposed to be the largest ever. And we're changing things, and we're showing that, like, you don't have to fit into this small little box of I'm A, B, C, D, and so on. You're allowed to be A, and then 2, and then just a mix-max of everything. And, Reagan had this vision of the great big red tent. And, you can be a conservative Republican with moderate social views nowadays. And that's what she's doing. And showing that, like, it's okay. And then you have these old school Republicans who are like, no, you can't do that. And I'm sorry, folks, but we're the future of the party. And you got to learn to work with us, not against us. And because somebody doesn't agree with you, you're going to go and boycott them. And you're going to... Hi, Samson. You're going to boycott them, and you're going to tar and feather them publicly and shame them. That sounds kind of like something the left would do. Just saying. I mean, I can give you a few examples right now. And, I don't know. I just don't get it. It's like, why do you have to fit this old definition of what... I'm trying to think of a good definition without using the pro-life, pro-choice category, and I can't. I keep coming back to that one, and I'm not gonna. The only other one I can think of is when it comes to like gay rights, and I'm not going into that I'm just not touching that one, but it's like people are boycotting her now. They're shaming her publicly. They're calling her a traitor. And I see her more as an innovator. She's letting these moderate Republicans who have conservative views know that they can come out and say these things and be like, hey, I believe the same thing. And I don't have to worry about, you know, being, well, they do have to worry about being shamed because she's getting shamed. And it's kind of sad. I mean, it's like if you go to her Twitter feed, it's she's just having to fight and fight and fight. And what the older generations of our party don't realize is we're taking over the party, and we are the future leaders of the party. And what are you going to do? Are you going to fight us like Indivisible is fighting our president and our members of Congress to hold on to these old school values of you have to fit into a cookie cutter definition or you're not a conservative? Is that the plan? Because it's not going to work. Oh, I have a really great one. And this is how I will finish it off. You don't like the mold. You don't like the person because of who they stand for. So you boycott them. You say you will never deal with them. Her name is Ivanka Trump. She makes clothing. She makes shoes. So you who are boycotting Tomi are no better than Macy's or Nordstrom. You're just not. And I guess those are just my final thoughts.